Welcome back to Navy Sports Magazine. Time to shine a light here on Navy men's golf as they get set to host the Patriot League Championships coming up this week. Nick Klock is our guest. And Nick, for you all as a team, just to have A, competition, and B, a chance to have the Patriot League Championships on your home course with all that has transpired in this academic year, what does this mean to you and your teammates just to have some competition and a chance to compete at home this week?
I think it means everything, for ever since the course got redone. We came back in the fall, and they did great renovations to the course. We've been looking forward to the spring and trying to get some sort of a season. And I know we've had a couple competitions, but to actually have our conference tournament and to have a chance to go to NCAA regionals this weekend it's a great opportunity, and it's something we're all been looking forward to.
With the course fusion as it has structured, you've seen it both ways. How do you like the new course?
Leaps and bounds better than the old course, in my opinion. Some new holes, 12 and 13, really stick out. The back nine's definitely changed a little bit. Some of the green complexes have changed, and that's something we've been working on for the last few weeks, trying to get familiar. Well, we're already familiar with the greens, but trying to get more so familiar so that we can have kind of a competitive advantage going in on Saturday and Sunday. Every stroke counts in this kind of tournament, and so any stroke you can kind of gain on the putting greens is great to have.
17 will always be my favorite hole, at least on the old course. Is it still the elevated tee at 17?
Oh yeah, that hole is still really difficult, especially if you play that hole downwind or any kind of crosswind. It can be hard to get the ball close to any of the pin locations, and that green complex it's tough. It's tough to make birdie putts and par putts when you really need to under pressure.
Best part for me was I didn't have to make a putt. I got a hole in one at 17. So it will always be my favorite hole there at the Naval Academy golf course. With playing all the different courses, as you have through your career around the league, is there any advantage to playing your course in a tournament like this where you have 36 on Saturday and have to come back with 18 on Sunday?
Oh, 1,000%. There are holes out on this golf course that we have a huge advantage on. I think both the par fives, number 3, number 13, we're definitely going to have a huge advantage on. We know where to hit the tee shots. We know how the greens work. We're going to know where the pin locations are. We know how the putts break, all that kind of stuff. That's huge. And then there are also some really tough par fours out there. Number 8, number 9, and number 14 really stick out to me as tough par fours. And just having that advantage, having played it, dozens and dozens and dozens of times over the past, 8 months, is definitely going to play to our advantage. And that's something that we know that we're going to have. And if we were to go up to, say, Saucon Valley or, go up to West Point, those schools would have competitive advantages there. So we're going to use that to our advantage, and we're hoping that gives us, the biggest advantages possible on Saturday and Sunday.
I know I love talking to our athletes who are individuals within a team sport like this. We watch President's Cup and Ryder Cup and things of that nature, but how does that dynamic come together this weekend where you all obviously have to play well individually to help the team, but at the same time, you're also trying to support the rest of the team within that dynamic? What goes into having success coming up this weekend?
Yeah, it's a great point. Golf is a really individual sport at the end of the day. And although at the college and high school level, you'll play in teams, this is slightly different from like a Ryder Cup style where you have kind of like match play going on. That's kind of what our format was against West Point a couple weekends ago. This is really important because we have to really focus on our own games, right? So, say I'm a couple over, I'm having a tough day, I'm just trying to grind out pars. I can't be focused on what Chad or Charlie or Ward or Keegan or David or any of those guys are doing. I just got to focus on my own thing. And that's something that, comes with experience. I think the more rounds you play, the more you get used to that. And, I've played in quite a few tournaments in my, 2.5, 3 years here. And so that's something that I'm definitely comfortable with. And I know a lot of the guys, I think all the guys that are starting this weekend are definitely comfortable with, but you just got to pay attention to your own game, understand that every shot counts. No matter what your score is, you've got to grind out every single putt, every single chip, every single drive, every single approach shot. You really have to be dialed in mentally as well as physically, and focused on kind of your own game. Because if we're able to do that, we'll be able to win on Sunday.
You had an interesting path to get here, spent some time in Missouri and then ended up out in California. That transition, doing that in the middle of your high school years the way you did, in a way, did that prepare you at all for leaving for home from California to come to the East Coast, to come to the Naval Academy here? Because that's quite a transition.
Yeah, I mean, I love it here. I mean, I love Annapolis. I love the area. I always kind of view myself as like somebody who kind of belongs on the East Coast, who's just living in California. All my family's from the East Coast. I was actually born in Charlottesville, Virginia. So my parents grew up in Fredericksburg. Yeah, I mean, I love it out here. I'm used to it. The humidity doesn't bother me. Love the weather, love being by the water, all that kind of stuff. But I do think it kind of did prepare me. Definitely like from a social standpoint, kind of like, again, being in Missouri and kind of in the Kansas City area, kind of, being used to all that kind of stuff socially, and then having to go all the way to California and just the cultural change, the social change, not knowing anybody in a much bigger school, all that kind of stuff. It did prepare me to an extent to come out here. Now, from like the Naval Academy standpoint, I don't think I was too prepared when I came as a plebe. I was kind of clueless. But I've learned with time and all that kind of stuff. And yeah.
Trust me, I don't think anybody's ever prepared for what they go through when they first get here. But I think they all certainly reap the benefits when they get to the end of the journey. When did golf really become important to you, and you looked at it as a way to certainly further your education and obviously get a chance to compete at the Division I level with it?
Yeah, I mean, I started playing golf when I was like 8 or 9, I think. Yeah, I would just whenever I would go visit my granddad, we would play golf together, and I kind of took a liking to it. And so when I got closer to the high school years, I was playing basketball competitively, and I was playing golf, and I kind of figured I wasn't tall and I wasn't fast, and I couldn't really play basketball competitively for too much longer. And I was pretty solid at golf, and so I found a good swing coach and mentor, and found some other mentors along the way, and kind of just started playing in tournaments and getting used to all that. And I think probably 8th grade, freshman year of high school, I really committed to golf as my primary sport. And like throughout my high school years, I was just trying to find a way to eventually get to the point I am today. I mean, this was, I knew that becoming like a professional would be kind of a big leap for me. So I didn't really see that as a possibility. But my dream was always to play Division I golf, and that was something that I really worked toward every single day I was in high school. And so being at this point right now is just, I mean, kind of living out my dream. So I'm beyond thrilled to be in this position and to be here.
What has the challenge been like this year with all that you all have endured? How has it kind of tested you personally? And now that we, are slowly starting to see some daylight at the other end of this journey, just what would you describe this year being like, and obviously having to persevere through it?
Yeah, it's been a really, really tough year, I think, for all of us. We've had, stuff with the team, just not being able to play is tough. Going through hard ROM and soft ROM, not being able to go over to the golf course, all this and that. It's tough, and it's tough to keep your game sharp. And, this whole year has definitely been a challenge. It's been a challenge academically, having to be on Zoom all the time. You get Zoom fatigue. I'm sure everybody knows what that's like, just looking at a screen all day. And, it's been really tough. And then, I had my father passed away about a month ago, and completely unexpectedly. And so that's also been tough. And that was tough on the team and all that kind of stuff. And so, you know, one thing that my father did always say is that life is journey. And I think this year has definitely been a journey, and you never know where life's going to lead you. And so we're just kind of making the most out of it. And I think this week we have a real chance to kind of reach that goal that we've been looking for toward the whole season.
Nick, prayers up to you and your family. Best of luck to you and your teammates this weekend as you host Patriot League Championships here in Annapolis. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you. Appreciate it.